the gameplay trailer, we now have even more leaks about what is to come in this new season. It has me even more excited. We have a whole bunch of map leaks, including pretty much all 3 of the new POIs. We have a confirmation we are getting an increased prize pool in competitive, and we now, for one of the first times ever, actually know when downtime is supposed to end. So there's a lot to talk about. Let's jump into it. Now, let's talk about the new map leaks. Fortnite's been posting a whole bunch of these themselves with fully HD images of the new POIs, and also leakers have gone into the game files and found some of these locations as well. So it looks like we're gonna have 3 new main POIs. We're gonna have the Raft, Doomstad, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, I guess it's like Castle, and then we have Castle Doom. And now that sounds like not a lot. Oh, Aussie, there's only 3 POIs, but when you look at them, these POIs are massive. This is the 3 of them right here. These are the full HD images that Fortnite has shared. And if you're looking at Doom Castle like I am, this thing is absolutely massive. Like, that is one of the biggest POIs I've ever seen. It has an entire bridge, which still looks tiny. We also have images inside the buildings as well. We have whole throne rooms. It looks really, really sick. Now, you'll notice the 3 of these POIs are all on the northwest side of the map. It looks like we're kind of going back to doing what we did last season, or this season, I should say, where everything new was in one area. Now, I don't really know how I feel about this. I think I would prefer the new areas to be spread out across the map, because whenever we get these changes, and it's been like this for a while now, you get like the new Grim area, then you get the Mount Olympus area. It just feels like everyone's dropping there and the rest of the map kind of gets forgotten. But it does also create a lot of excitement around these new POIs. If you want to get into fights, if you want to get into a lot of action, you know where you're going to find it. So there's pros and cons. I do wish we were somehow getting rid of the desert area of the map. I did say in a recent video, I think Cypher PK nailed this when he talked about how a lot of our memories of some of the worst seasons in Fortnite, usually the game just doesn't visually look that nice. And I think the desert POIs just don't look that appealing. The desert area just looks kind of ugly. I was kind of hoping we would replace that, but at the same time, I've said a whole bunch in the past that I like a map that has very diverse biomes. Now we have the snow area, we have the desert area, we have a little bit of like the Grim River Styx area, and now we have these new POIs with a very kind of like old school German vibe to it, I guess. I don't know, we got big castles. It looks really, really stunning though. As far as the actual aesthetic of these POIs, they look really, really nice, and it looks like we're getting a whole bunch of loot, which will help our competitive a lot. These don't look like small POIs. Some of these, I'm thinking at least 2 to 3 teams should be able to split, especially that castle. At the same time though, this doesn't mean these are going to be the only map changes that we get. We've also got other images being leaked of a Fantastic Four collab that's coming out with a kind of gigantic broken kind of sign in the middle of nowhere. I feel like this is going to be a season where we're going to get a lot of mid-season updates and a lot of changes throughout the season. If you remember, Stark season wasn't even Stark season at the start. It was the Marvel season, Chapter 2, Season 4, but we didn't get the massive Stark update that is the iconic, you know, when you think of Stark season, you think of that update. You think of that POI in the massive area on the map that kind of just came out of the ground. That was all in a mid-season update. So we could expect to see this season start with these kind of POIs and then have an update that big throughout it. Now, we do have a lot of tease collabs coming up throughout the season. I will also remind you, Fortnitemares is going to be part of this season as well. And unfortunately, Fortnitemares has been pretty low effort for a while now. I feel like we haven't really had a good Fortnitemares for a very long time, but when we have a Marvel themed Fortnitemares, that could go absolutely crazy. If we're looking for a massive content update midway through the season, surely Fortnitemares combined with Marvel would just blow everything out of the water. I really, really hope that my dreams aren't just gonna be shattered here, but I've said in the past, if Epic has proven anything when they do these gigantic collab seasons, is this is when they go all out on the effort. Honestly, the weapons could be terrible, the meta could be terrible, these POIs could be awful to play in, but at the same time, they will be high effort. I can't guarantee you it's going to be fun. I don't know what Epic's going for in the direction of this season, but what I do know is they're putting in a lot of effort. So if we do actually get a season where the effort matches what we were looking for, this could be an absolute 10 out of 10. I don't think we're going to be having a lack of content this season. It's just whether the content actually hits, which I really, really hope it does. Now, I did mention in the intro, we're getting an increase in the competitive prize pool. Fortnite Competitive tweeted out, NA and EU expect a prize increase for winning the BR Duos Cash Cup in Chapter 5 Season 4. Now, this confirms a few things. Firstly, it confirms, obviously, we're getting an increase in prize pool, but only for 2 regions. I know a lot of people are going to be upset about that. NA and EU are the biggest regions. I don't think people realize just
Supercharge your business with the all-new Shopify Point of Sale, the all-in-one POS solution built on the world's most powerful
how big EU is. The player count pretty much usually sits around the fact that EU is bigger than every single other region combined, NA being the second biggest, so I guess they're increasing the prize pool there, but it doesn't sound like they're increasing it based on the player base, which is a bit interesting. Fortnite restructured their whole prize pool a little while ago, a few years ago, and they based it at the time pretty much completely off the player base. Now, we have unregion locked tournaments again, and maybe they've seen that NA and EU are getting the most amount of people playing these from other regions, so they want to increase the prize pool for that reason. I don't know, but I'm never going to complain about an increase in prize pool. Now, they specifically mentioned only for winning the duo cash cups. I wonder how much it's going to be that it made them actually want to make a tweet about it. Like, I'm guessing that's not just going to be like a few $100 increase prize pool. Like, that makes me think it's going to be substantial, and I bet that is going to be because I feel like this is confirmation we aren't getting an FNCS next season. Now, we kind of thought about this for a while now. The last 2 times we've had a major LAN event, next season is the Global Championship, we haven't had an FNCS. And I know that upsets a lot of people. I really wish we could have both. I wish there could be like a solo FNCS or something that's a little bit fun, super exciting, doesn't have to get to the LAN event, and it could either be before or, in this case, I'm guessing after the LAN event, because the LAN event's taking place on the 7th of next month. Like, it's like 3 weeks away and we're already into the LAN event and we haven't even jumped into this season yet. So it's gonna be very, very interesting to see how the pros adapt to this. And I'm guessing this increase in prize pool for first place is still to keep people motivated around competitive, still grinding the game, and makes us want to care a little bit more about the cash cups than just seeing them as kind of build up to FNCS. Usually in seasons where there's cash cups and no FNCS, they just don't really feel as exciting. Most people care about the cash cups because they build up towards something, where if they have a much bigger prize pool and the pros are really, really try-harding it, I think it could be extremely exciting. Now, it does also confirm we are still going to have duo cash cups in this new season, and this does make sense. I know a lot of people are going to be sad about this. Oh, we've had duos for forever. Obviously, the season that has the LAN event is going to still have to have duos as the main game mode, so even though there is only a few weeks before the LAN event, there's at least some way to practice. Now, I have a feeling we are honestly going to stick to duos again for next year, competitive as well. I don't know yet. I've been talking for the longest time. I would absolutely love to see a solo FNCS during OG season or the first season of next chapter. Have a change in the game mode, don't have a qualify you to LAN, a bit of fun, and then go back to duos for the LAN event. I know that upsets some people. I do really think if we had solos, trios, squads, any other game mode for duos for this long, the game would be pretty dead competitive wise. Duos is the best game mode and they've proven that, but I do fully understand the frustration of having the same game mode for such a long time. Just 1 or 2 seasons of solos and trios to mix it up. I think everyone would enjoy that, but an increase in competitive prize pool has me very, very excited for what else they're doing with competitive next season. We also had it leaked we are going to get reload cash cups in the new season as well. Reload, the new game mode, extremely popular. It's also clearly a game mode Epic's putting a lot of effort into. They want to develop it, they want to change the meta season on season, and them doing cash cups for it just makes perfect sense. It's going to be so insanely fun to see how these play out. They already tested it at the end of this season. I keep going to say last season. We're not in the new season yet. They did test them at the end of this season with no prize pool, and there were a few glitches, but when I saw that test, it had me so hopeful. It means they're going to do something with them in competitive, and we already have the leaks confirming we are getting reload cash cups. Now, just because we aren't getting an FNCS doesn't mean we couldn't get something else. There could still be like a Winter Royale or something massive like that, a really big, few day tournament that isn't the length of FNCS, but still gives something for people to play towards if they aren't made it to the LAN event yet. Obviously, the LAN event is only 100 players around the world, and as much as it's a really big focus for competitive, and I hope everyone's gonna be watching and making a big deal about it, it does still leave the other 99.99% of the players without anything but cash cups. So fingers crossed Epic does pull something out. Again, if they're going to do it during any season, it's going to be a Marvel season. We know this is massive. We know there's a lot of pressure on Epic to kind of perform during these seasons to get the massive player base to make Marvel, or Disney in this case, happy. So I'm really hoping, and I do say if there is going to be a massive tournament during any season, this would be the one to do it. Let's be honest though, if they absolutely nail this meta and we have a super fun season, as fun as it was to grind during Stark season, and they have reload cash cups, duo cash cups, some victory cash cups, maybe some other fun LTM style tournaments in there, some skin cups for the casuals, that would still be a pretty awesome season with the global champs in the middle of it to make it so memorable. I'm obviously asking for all these things and I would love them, but I do really think this season is going to be amazing without it. Now, as always, usually when the season goes live, we get a blog post breaking down what all the tournaments are, breaking down everything. As long as that comes out the same way as it has for the last few seasons, I will make a a video on my YouTube channel breaking it all down and covering exactly what's going on. Now, last off, let's talk about when you can actually jump in and play this new season, which hopefully you're as excited for as I am. Now, this will probably be the quickest we've ever gotten into a new season because the downtime is starting really, really early. It's starting at 11 p.m. ET. I say early, I know that's still super late for most of you guys. It's gonna be very early time for me in Australia, which is nice, but a lot of people saw this earlier downtime and thought, oh, does that mean there's gonna be a way longer download, maybe a way bigger downtime? We're going into Black Hole 2.0. No, it looks like leakers have found out that the season 4 downtime should last for about 5 hours, which means hopefully you should be able to jump into the game roughly around 4 a.m. ET or these different times on the screen here. Now, I'll be live for this on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/AussieAntics, all day, looking at the leaks, bringing in the vibes, giving away some V-Bucks, giving away some battle passes for you guys. It's going to be a fun time. If you're still wondering when the servers go live, swing by. Hopefully I have an update for you, but it's looking like we're going to get into Fortnite very, very quickly.